Okay, let's be clear. This will have nothing to do with the coronavirus epidemic. This is about radio, baseball, and community. Gesundheit. A local radio announcer, he did the baseball games, recently retired, and it was made into a very big deal. On the one hand, I completely understood it. He's been doing the games for 46 years, and that alone, Gesundheit, quite an accomplishment, if not exactly up to the Vin Scully heights. He's also been inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame many years before he retired, which I thought was ridiculous, but around here he was greatly admired and referred to simply as the Hall of Famer. I did not think that he was all that special, that different from all the other announcers. And he was old, 76, cranky and old. And there were things he did on a regular basis that I did not like. Then too, humility was not part of his repertoire. 46 years can buy you a lot of ego. You start believing in your own spiel. Would be shocked to hear that it's getting old, like you. But when he stepped away, it was with great sorrow and ceremony. No one will ever take his place, people said, and I thought that was crazy. I felt the opposite was true. The next season will begin with a new announcer in the booth. The pitchers will throw the ball, the batters will hit or whiff, and not a beat will be missed. No one, certainly not this man, is irreplaceable. So why the big deal? A book I was reading helped me to understand the situation. It was about, in part, the individual, freedom, and community. You can easily see how the virtues of freedom and community are contradictory, at odds with each other. We want both, of course. We want our freedom, and we also want to belong. In order to belong to a community, we have to voluntarily surrender a portion of our precious freedom. The fact that we do so willingly speaks to the value and our need for community. The communities involved in this man's retirement are at least twofold. The first was nearly invisible, yet very powerful. The team of people who produced the radio baseball broadcast. Most of them had worked together for over 20 years. It has to be wrenching to lose a key team member after all that time. It's almost like having a loved one die. It is definitively the end of something, a dark shadow. The second community was the target of the broadcast, the vast listening audience. The retiring announcer had been the focus of their attention, the players come and go, for all of those years. In a sense, he was nearly a member of the family. These listeners were not connected by anything other than the broadcast of those games, but because of their love of baseball, and in particular the local club, that connection was astonishingly real and deep. Each one of those many thousands of people share so many memories of good times and bad, of hundreds of specific players, of so many exciting or controversial games, and even of certain standout plays within those games. This is a considerable stockpile that amounts to a very large portion of all their lives. And so, to lose this man, with whom they had all shared so much, was truly a shock to that community. Also, making it even more bittersweet, there was a throwback. This was a throwback community. I'm not certain about the future of radio, but there's no doubt that radio broadcast is old school. And I've written before about baseball and how, for many different reasons, its days may be numbered, an end for former national pastime. The people who run the game are intent on fixing it, and all they do is ruin it, chisel it, cheapen it, degrade it. This continuous process of deterioration insidiously conspires to make the game less interesting. Baseball always was a delicate balance, and now it is whirling and teetering out of whack. Can radio keep an audience facing off against television and cable and satellite and the fabulous attraction of the internet? And all the things people can do with their fabulous phones. So is it possible that this particular community, in losing their spokesman, could also perceive the inevitability of losing it all, of becoming not a vibrant social group, but a fossil, a distant, fading memory? This may have been the passing of more than just one announcer. This may have foreshadowed the end of it all.